Hello, everybody. Welcome to 7 Questions Between 7 Mountains. Today's Bergen-based guest is the lead singer of the electronic rock band Datarock, Fredrik Saroea. Datarock, for those who don't know, is one of Norway's most internationally successful bands and has taken the world by storm with 4 successful studio albums under their belt. Datarock has been featured in both the UEFA EURO and FIFA game franchises, as well as featuring on major commercials like Apple and Coca Cola. Datarock's widespread acclaim has taken my guest on a journey around the world, from Coachella and Leeds Festival to Bergen's very own Brann Stadion, just 5 minutes from here. Sharing his story with me today, here's our show. Fredrik Saroea, welcome to 7 Questions Between 7 Mountains.
Thank you!
Second episode in the history of mankind. That's crazy.
I'm so happy to be here. I live very close by. I live actually on the glacier you can see in the background here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's there's a tiny, well, it's not
The
even-
igloo. It's an igloo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't really see it because
No.
it's like
Yeah. Yes.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's great. Me too.
Besides the fact that we can't play festivals, we can't play concerts. Besides that fact, I'm okay.
That's pretty good. That's why we're in this cabin.
Yes.
Chilling.
Yes. That's why you wanted me to come visit. And it was great.
And you traveled far.
Yes.
You walked.
I walked for like 15 minutes.
Wow, that's far. That's well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a new record to coming up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So start with the first question.
All right.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. So I want to know, how did you start with your music business? How did you get into it? What was
Yeah,
your
not like when
inspiration?
I was a child, but
Yes.
from
From the very beginning.
Oh Lord.
What was it?
Oh, this is embarrassing, but I'm gonna be honest because you make me feel like an honest person because you look so trustworthy. I'm gonna be honest now.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, this is really terrible. But when I was a child, I saw the film Annie, the musical.
All right.
And I don't know what the hell happened, but I saw that film Annie, and I thought, it looks like a lot of fun with those children running around singing and dancing. And I thought, music sounds that looks like a little bit of fun. And then I joined a choir. A choir, that's what I did. It's absurd, but that's what I did, and it was a lot of fun, I guess. But then my big brother started playing the cello, and then I obviously started playing the cello. And lucky for me, he started playing thrash metal. So I started playing thrash metal.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the absurd transition from Annie via a choir to thrash metal. So anyway, so when I was a child, it was I guess I dressed exactly like this. This is really what everybody was looking. Well, this is how I looked when I was 11 or 12 years old. Thrash metal, skateboarding, Metallica creators, Sepultura, that kind of stuff. And at the time, Bergen was it was those early years where I guess black metal appeared in Norway. But after a couple of years, I discovered electronic music from England that combined guitar music with electronic production. Yeah. And that was, I remember when I was a child, I grew up right outside of Bergen, and everybody was listening to Black Sabbath from the 70s, or even, Beatles and all sorts of stuff from sort of before my days, or how to put it. And finding, Happy Mondays, Charlatans, Stone Roses, and all of these bands that combined something brand new with some classic songwriting features. That was like the start of my super passion for music, because that was like mine, this is mine. And when you're in high school, or at the time, I guess I was in 6th or 7th grade, if someone in school starts liking a band that you like, then it's like, I don't like it anymore.
Right.
And then, but I was a super nerd. So I had my own radio show, and every week we'd feature new artists and new music. And I remember the smell of new cool albums.
Oh yes, the best smell.
Yeah, the vinyl packaging when you opened it and you looked at the print and everything. And the thing with the British scene from those days was like the graphic design was just super cool and new and it felt like something that was kind of ours. We didn't, and it's the same thing with BMX riding. The generation before us didn't ride BMX bikes. The generation before us didn't skateboard because it was illegal until 1989 in Norway. Wow. So anyways, and then the music that I ended up touring the world with is the music directly inspired by the music that I heard when I was like 12. With this combination of, I mean, Datarock is rock made on a computer. That's sort of the stupid name of our band. Data meaning computing in Norwegian, and then rock, obviously. Yeah. So it started with me sort of discovering. It was called Manchester rock at the time. I cared much more about Manchester rock than grunge and all of that. Right. But then I ended up in music high school. It was not like in Glee, but similar. No, but in music high school, then you had all the normal subjects, but we had 11 music subjects in addition to the normal subjects. So I had my own guitar teacher, and we had the choir, and we had ensemble, and we had writing scores and stuff. I wasn't particularly good at that, but my guitar teacher, he was super nice. He is a very famous Norwegian. I don't know the English word, but pedagog. What is the English word? I don't know what the English word is.
I don't even know. But
he writes books about music theory and blah 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 for kids and young people, and he's a master teacher kind of. And he was really funny because I said, I'm not very good with the notes and I don't really care too much about it. I'm not like, I have a very intuitive way of listening to music and writing music. And every class he would teach me something that I would have to practice. So I would have to learn like jazz stuff, like Pat Metheny songs and all of that. So my hands can do all sorts of weird things thanks to him. But most of the time he wanted me to play things that I made the last week. Yeah. And I think that was really like him taking my songwriting at a very early age so seriously. Yeah, that's the reason why I ended up being a professional musician. Because what I ended up writing, because he was so serious. Even my piano teacher, which is one of Norway's most famous contemporary composers, he was the same. He just wanted to hear what I made since last week. Yeah, and in fact, a lot of the songs that Datarock released at a grown-up age is songs that I wrote in high school. Wow. So anyways, but what happened was, and this is a terrible thing to say too, I guess, but I was so happy with the things that I wrote in high school, and I thought like, but this is as good as it gets. I don't think I can make anything much better than this, and obviously nothing is happening because I'm a teenager, and what's gonna happen? And Bergen felt very, very isolated at the time, right? This was the mid-90s. So nobody had an international career. I don't think I knew anyone with a record contract or anything like that. You didn't have, Bergen wasn't international like it is
today. Right? And speaking of Bergen, do you think it has impacted you, or like just Bergen? We talked about with Björn, we talked about like that, it's raining a lot, so you have to stay inside and be creative. Yeah. Do you think like Bergen have inspired you in some ways?
Yeah, I think because, Bergen, it's true, it rains 230 days a year, or something like that. And if you nerd out on something, you sort of tend to get to know the other people who are interested in the same. So I've known Björn since let me think, 2004, something like that, 2003, perhaps even before. Wow. And he was much younger than me, but he even at a very early age he did like press shots for us, and the company he worked with did artwork for us. Yeah. So I've known him since forever, kind of, because Bergen is such a tiny little place. So it rains all the time, and it's a tiny little community. So you get to know the others who are good at whatever. Right. And it's a town where people are very collaborative. So people help each other. Like even if you don't have money, there's someone there who can help you. So I think, especially people with a little bit of off creativity. I think they thrived in Bergen. Whereas in some towns, bigger cities. Who, I don't know, perhaps like, okay, this is a terrible thing to say too, but if you, for instance, if you think about, this is kind of makes sense logically. The main city of a country is often a little bit less interesting than the second largest. And I think the reason why is because the second, the capital of a city, of a country, they know how to capitalize on a domestic market. Yeah. And if you want to capitalize on a domestic market instead of thinking internationally, then perhaps you're working within kind of a little bit of an outdated creativity. It's a terrible thing to say, but it makes a little bit of sense, right? Yeah. So if you have whatever product that you want to sell to a large percentage of a population in one country, then you have to make something a little bit boring, perhaps. Perhaps. But if you don't have the luxury of sort of being able to make money domestically, and you have to find weirdos around the world, then perhaps that allows you to be a little bit more weird creatively. Yeah. So anyway, so like traditionally, Bergen was the city where, well, both the tech industry and music and design and all sorts. This is where the weirdos sort of thrived.
It is. All my friends are weirdos.
Yeah, no, but and some of them probably moved here because this was the place to go if that's what you did. Yeah. So yeah, I think everything we've done has 100% happened because of Bergen.
Right?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, but just to end off the creativity thing.
Yeah.
In music high school, because everything we did was practice, and then music in high school, and as a school subject, I got sick of music. So I actually stopped doing music. After I was 18, I went to the university and I studied art history and that sort of stuff for years and years. And then later on, around the time that I got to know Bjorn, we started Datarock just for fun. And we didn't take it seriously at all. Like we made songs that we basically made it for like the few friends we had who would come to see us at a club in Bergen. It was just some fun stuff. Yeah. But then what had happened since I was a kid up until that time was that suddenly Bergen had become an international music city. Yeah. So you had Kings of Convenience from Bergen. They not only did they work internationally, but they got great reviews. They started touring the world. Yeah. Same thing with Rakes Up. Amazing attention, their videos, even the videos was made here, but ending up like with MTV awards and stuff. So when we started Datarock, the world was our playground. So it was a long break, and then when we started up again, it was just for fun, not because we thought it was going to be a career. But we ended up doing 1,000 shows in 36 countries.
It's crazy. So. I think you write the best songs when your intentions are not make something perfect or make like I'm gonna make the best song. But if you just do something for fun, usually those songs are the best.
Yeah.
Because you usually have like something that stops you from being creative when you're like overthinking it.
Yeah, and I think there's my theory sounds so logical, so I'm gonna share it with you.
Okay, thanks.
No, but if you sit down and you want to write something and the intellect starts working, I mean, unless you're self-destructive, insane person, perhaps you want to make a little bit of money, perhaps you want a little bit of success, I don't know. And then if you try to work from some kind of formula, chances that formula is already outdated. Yeah. So say you want to do commercial pop music or whatever, like if you take inspiration from a hit that's going on right now or last week, or you just crack the code of whatever happened 3 months ago, that's already gone. Like nobody wants to hear that shit again, perhaps, right? But in our case, sometimes, not that we, willingly wanted to do this, but sometimes we try to repeat ourselves. It's just what happens, kind of. Like you have 3 demos or whatever, and you continue working on the one you think reminds a little bit of whatever song you had with a little bit of success.
That worked.
Yeah. Never works again.
No.
Never works again.
Yeah.
So every time anything like substantial happened to us, it was with some weird song that nobody thought had any commercial qualities. Yeah. So Fa Fa Fa, for instance, seriously, I made that song in 5 minutes. We recorded it in no time, and then I think we never mixed it. We just kind of bounced it like it was on the mixing desk, and then when we mixed the album, we're like, but that's fine, it's okay like that. We just need some lyrics.
Yeah.
So I wrote some lyrics, and I thought the part where I sang fa fa fa, that goes. It's okay. We don't need lyrics for that.
Yeah.
So made like this, kept fa 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 in there, and now we've been sort of living off that song since 2005. But it was a 5-minute process to write.
Want to know something? The first song, one of the first songs I ever learned or taught myself on bass.
Oh really?
Was,
Oh really?
You know, I just fucking love that. So it's yeah. So I think you guys were or are really fucking big, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that because you have a story about Apple, right?
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yeah, that's a weirdo. That's a weird story.
Yeah, what is it about?
No, it's yeah. I mean, so Datarock started off, and right away we started doing shows outside of Bergen. And at the time, it was unusual to go out of town to do a show.
Yeah.
So we're like, what? They booked us to a festival in Oslo. What the hell? And then Finland, and then I think like the third country was like Switzerland for some reason. And then Iceland and Denmark and Sweden and Germany and blah, 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 and then around the world. And then eventually, I don't know how word came out, but this record company from Canada called Network. Have you heard about Network? No. I didn't know who they were. So this guy comes, all dressed in denim, and he came to Bylarm in Oslo, and he wanted to meet with us because he apparently wanted to sign us. And we looked up his company. It was like a country label. We didn't know any of the artists. So he came to this meeting, and we felt kind of sorry for him because he obviously didn't know who he was meeting with.
Oh yeah.
Because we were just some weirdos, right? So we took him to this really, inexpensive place to have dinner, and sort of felt sorry for him afterwards too. Like, why does he want to sign us?
Yeah.
And then later on, we read that he was the one who signed Coldplay, Avril Lavigne, and Sarah McLachlan. Okay. So he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and I think they were in the forefront of technological development in the music industry. Yeah. So they really saw, how to read tendencies on the net and la la la. So they saw that we had traction in 50 countries. So for whatever reason, they picked it up first, and they wanted to sign us because I think they thought that there was it's a new global development. We were very popular on MySpace, for instance. We're featured artists on MySpace. 28 million people saw us every day for 2 weeks and stuff like that, which we didn't really know how big of a deal that was really, right? But anyway, so this Canadian label Network signed us, and at the time, the head owner, a guy called Terry McBride, he was very influential in the sort of progressive music industry. So he was friends with the Apple owners, presumably, right? So one day, suddenly our artwork, our cover, was on the front of Apple's global presentation of the Nano chromatic series with a 5-colored version of the iPod. You remember?
Yeah.
And so my little hand illustration that I, by the way, drew on the paper that you put food in when you wrap food for school.
Oh yeah.
So I drew that little piece of shit on my kitchen table, and now it's on billboards around the planet.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we ended up, and at the time, that ad campaign around the planet was world history's most expensive ad campaign. And we were part of it. Yay! So that really helped spread the word.
Yeah. I would imagine.
Yeah, because also for the presentation of the product, they say something like, the menu is really beautiful, blah, blah, blah. You go in, find your favorite song, and they go straight to Datarock's album, find Fa Fa Fa, and that plays for 32 seconds as they present the product. Yeah. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. No, but so I mean, the story about how we worked a career out of Bergen is, really translate to so many other companies, or you don't have to do music, whatever you do. It's an interesting story because we really worked along with a lot of stuff that we didn't really necessarily understand. No. But so we were yes people, right? Yeah. So we said yes to a lot of different projects, like a film in Argentina went on to be like the most loved cult movie in Argentina. Because why not, you know?
Why not?
And then we end up like in all of these weird situations. So for instance, once we had a meeting with some people that I didn't know who they were. They said EA. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what EA is, right? So I had a meeting with them for like 3 hours.
Okay.
Like,
Without knowing.
Without knowing.
Okay.
And we were just talking about music. We're talking like this,
yeah.
right? Talking about all sorts of whatever. And they were like, you really don't know what EA is. Gaming, yeah, gaming. Like, I grew up with gaming. I mean, we're the generation who sort of grew up with gaming, but somehow I fell off. So I didn't know who EA was. And I couldn't imagine how big it was. I didn't know it was a $1 billion industry, right? And they were like, I think they completely fell in love with our sort of innocence, that we sold ourselves so well to them without even knowing who they were. So we ended up having songs in 4 FIFA games, 2 Sims, Need for Speed, Madden NFL, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So something like 500 million people have heard Datarock 100 times in a game from EA. And that's just half of the games we're part of. So for instance, one of the ways we reached an international audience was through these kind of new channels with games, synchronization to TV series and films, and obviously touring as much as we could. So we would, and that, when we were young, it was so expensive traveling that, I mean, most people didn't really travel too far, kind of. No. But around 2005, 2006, traveling became more affordable. So we actually went, on average, we played 28 countries every year on 5 continents. We would do 250 days of traveling every year, and something like up to like 150 shows a year. And we ended up playing shows in 36 countries. So,
that's just
just
wild.
You know, if you have the opportunity to roll with it when you can, just fucking roll. Can I say that? I swore.
I mean, I don't think
I'm
this
so
is
sorry.
This is Facebook. You can say fucking, I think.
Can I?
I think.
Can you say the F word? I'm not gonna do it again. It was a mistake.
Can we?
No, but yeah. So that's and also in Bergen, I think people are like your family and friends and everything are really sort of rooting for you. So if you and try help in any way people can. And so so it's a very good place to be ambitious in. Yeah.
Regarding the Fa 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 song, you told me something that it was 15 years ago. You guys released it?
Yes. It's the 15-year anniversary.
It's like, it's just I just found this behind there.
What do you got there? What is that?
I just found this behind there. It's a cool album from this band, my favorite band called Datarock.
Oh, what a beautiful thing. What is that thing?
Well, it's obviously an LP.
Oh, but it's never been on vinyl before.
Never!
How can I get it? Well, I'll tell you how you can get it. The 26th of September, this will drop at Record Store Day Drops internationally. In a store in close proximity to where you are right now. So go grab it the 26th of September. This is the first copy I've ever seen, and it's beautiful.
Beautiful! It's really awesome. Oh, you guys are actually, because you're looking this way, and if you turn around, you're looking that way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So this was the album. This was the picture on Apple?
Yes, yeah. And it was really funny because internationally, this was the artwork on the gold-colored or orange-colored version of the iPod. But in Europe, we re-released it the same year with the blue cover. So in Europe, we had the blue cover, and internationally, I remember Kanye West had the blue version.
Yeah.
So I wonder what happened to Kanye West in Europe, because we had the blue one here. So perhaps we won over Kanye West. Think about it.
I think you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I look at bands, and when I like, my favorite thing is concerts. And you are by far one of the best live bands I've ever seen, and I mean it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I just want to know, like, is there any performance that stands out? What is your favorite gig?
I mean, many, for different reasons.
All right, like top 3.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know that things was happening in Australia. So even the first time we went to Australia, we were like super famous there.
Oh yeah.
In a like not just among nerds, but like it was household. So for instance, the customs, they stopped us. And they saw that we were obviously a band. So they said, "So where are you from?" And we said Norway. And well, they said, "Are you a band?" Obviously, where are you from? Norway. And the third question was, "Are you Datarock?" And then they started singing "Fa Fa Fa," like in
really?
customs. And they didn't even check the luggage. You sent it through, and good luck. And so coming to Australia was really bizarre because for instance, we were doing this national tour, stadium tour. Basically playing right before James Brown, and we thought we were going to play like a little tent in a corner, but we played the main stage.
You did the main stage.
We did the main stage at this, and this was like when we were like playing small clubs here.
So it was your first main stage.
Yeah, and that was stadium show. So in Sydney, I think it was 25,000 people. Right, and we were used to playing like Hule in Bergen for like 200 people.
Right.
So, but anyways, so when we came to Australia, there's a festival in Australia called Myreze Music Festival, and we were playing I think like 11 or almost midnight, and it was in the forest, and the audience was standing in kind of like atrium, like a slope, like a hill. So the audience wasn't like that, which they usually are on a festival. They were like on a hill, right? So you could see everybody, and it was something like I think I remember it was 13,000 people. You can find it on YouTube. There are some clips, and coming out on stage at that festival, Myreze Music Festival, was just that was amazing. And you know, because you know the sound of an audience in a jam-packed little club is really loud, right? When they clap after a song, it's really loud volume. But if you play an outdoor stage for even like tens of thousands of people, the sound just disappears. Like you don't hear a response from the audience.
No.
I guess the sound just disappears up in the air.
Yeah.
But when they're standing towards you like that, it's so intense, and just the volume of the audience was just. That was memorable. That was amazing.
Oh wow.
And also Coachella Festival, we played a stage that I think it took like 4,000 or so, but almost 8,000 came. So the Coachella show was just absolutely crazy, and that was really the start of our success in America, because I think people were in shock.
Yeah.
Because like the main act at the time was Verve. And Verve had been away for like, I don't know, years and years, and it was their reunion concert. So we thought everybody was going to leave during our show, but we had like twice the capacity of the stage, of the room, and everybody was just going mental. So the next day we had like sponsorship deals with Gibson and all sorts of stuff.
After that gig.
Yeah. So that was crazy. But I have to say, only three? I had three stand out. Is that it?
Whatever you feel.
Can we do four?
Let's do four. Let's do four.
Okay, let's do four. No, but ever since we were kids, me and the other guy on the cover, Kjetil Mosnes, ever since we were kids, we started going to Roskilde Festival in Denmark. So Roskilde Festival was, ever since we basically started taking Datarock serious, that was the ambition, going to Roskilde, right? So in 2005, the year we released the first album, we got to play Roskilde, but we played the camping stage on the Wednesday. So it was fun, and we could tell everybody, yeah, we played Roskilde Festival. But we didn't really play Roskilde. It's a Wednesday, daytime. You know, it's the camping guys. I mean, it's fun, but it's not the real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyways, 2009 or 7, I don't remember. We came back and we played the second largest stage, and something like 12,000 people came. And that's different, right? Because you can picture yourself. I was there when I was 16 and 17 and 18, and I'm those guys. I'm the audience, right?
Watching is like one day.
Yeah. But and really, like, we've been there so many times that we understood what they were. Anyways, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was like playing Roskilde was crazy. Same thing. That the number 4 is 2009. We played Oya Festival for probably like 5th time or something like that. I don't know, but we played the main stage. I don't remember the name. It's called Anga. I don't know.
Anga, yeah.
The biggest stage, anyways, at Oya Festival, and and that was like homecoming. The feeling was like, oh shit, because we'd been touring the world, and we didn't really know how things was approached in Norway. I didn't quite know, because we were touring all the time.
Yeah.
And then we came to Oya Festival, great festival, and then it's just jam packed as far as the eye can see, right? And people are singing along, and that was like, yeah, that was emotional. It was an emotional moment.
Right.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah, because I could imagine it's like your life work and all your dreams is towards this moment where you can stand there and like look out and it's like, oh, holy shit, I made it.
Yeah, because so many things that you do far away places, like you don't know. Perhaps it's always like this. Like if you're in Japan or whatever, even if you play 3 in the afternoon, you know, thousands of people show up and they're very polite and they're clapping their hands. I don't even know. Is that the audio to everybody? Is it special for us? I don't know. but you know how the audience at home acts.
Yeah.
And if you get that kind of feedback, you know that they're having a good time and it's really acceptance at a level that really goes straight to the heart, kind of.
Right.
So yeah, that's my highlights.
You said that you travel a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd imagine that. What's the craziest thing that has happened? The weirdest shit that has happened on tour that you're allowed to speak up. You can tell the dirty details to me afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I think seriously, being stopped by customs and then having them sing "fa fa fa." That's
crazy.
That's pretty absurd.
Yeah.
Right? No, I mean we're very boring people. Like we don't do too much crazy stuff.
No.
But once when we played Roskilde Festival, me and Kjetil were perhaps not entirely sober.
No.
And backstage at the Orange Stage, like the entire Norwegian press corps was there, and we were all having fun. And I remember someone tried to lit on fire EMI's stand backstage. I don't know why, but anyway, so it was that kind of atmosphere.
Okay.
And me and Kjetil, we decided that we were going to stage dive a table. So there was a plastic table there, and we're like, let's fucking stage dive that table, yeah! And then, by some reason, what a dumb idea, right? We're like, yeah, come on! And ran over and just stage dived on the plastic table, which obviously cracked, and we fell, and he knocked his teeth out.
No!
And because we were not entirely sober, we started laughing, and the Norwegian like press people, they were like, who are these people? They're insane. And that was like the one time we did anything insane. But after that, we were like, oh, they don't go crazy.
Yeah. I imagine like if you're like, yeah, we're the good guys, and but the one time you do want something,
and everybody saw
they're
it.
like that.
Yeah, everybody saw it.
Yeah.
So an Arcade, the Norwegian broadcast company, they actually made us redo that thing behind the main stage at Øya Festival.
No.
For some reason, I don't know why.
Really?
But crazy things that has happened. I met some really, really famous people without recognizing them. That's kind of funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Like stuff like that happens. Radio people, like who knows what they look like? I don't know what they.
Yeah, you just know their voice.
Yeah, and then very often I really don't know who people are. Like,
yeah.
And I think they kind of appreciate it because
maybe because then you first like treat them as a normal person.
Yeah, perhaps not always a good thing. Like once we were at a party in LA and Lindsay Lohan came in, and I didn't know who the hell she was. She just looked like a pretty fucked up and drunk person and did not look like a famous person at all. Right. And then she came to the kitchen and was like, is there any of the drink here? And we're like, no, not really. It's vodka, nothing else. There's some vodka left. She's like, yeah, sure. And our sound guy poured her a big glass of vodka. And the next day we read in the paper that she had escaped some rehab facility and she had crashed her Mercedes.
Oh no.
So, so sometimes perhaps you should know who people are.
You should.
At least with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, just like, can I get some alcohol? You're no,
not you.
No.
Yeah.
Not you.
Get some water.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because I have Bjorn Myreze had one where he he was doing this thing for this shoot for Top Model, and he was gonna shoot Heidi Klum.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And he obviously knew who she was, and he knew why he was there.
Yeah.
But when she came, she was like, "So where am I supposed to go?"
Yeah.
And he was like sort of super busy. So he was like, yeah, sorry, could you just go and get me some coffee? Or and she was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
She went to get the coffee, and then she got dressed, and then she got in front of the camera. And he's like, oh, you're. And then he's been talking about that for ages. He's still so embarrassed.
Yeah.
The photos turn out great though.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
No, but she's like the famous quote where she supposedly said, "A woman cannot be too thin or too rich." Have you heard that?
No.
That's a terrible quote. But then again, she was just quoting Karl Lagerfeld, so it's okay. It's okay. She is probably a lovely lady. Well, who knows? No, but yeah, that the whole thing with fame and all of that, I guess. Like for instance, in a backstage area of a festival, everybody's just walking around, and sometimes you take a leak, and next to you is some super famous person shaving.
Oh yeah.
Bare-chested shaving, right? So behind the stages, everything is like, everybody is normal people.
Nice.
So. Yeah.
Be with your own kind.
Yeah. Sometimes it's been really funny though. Like I remember once I saw the head of Queens of the Stone Age. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah.
Josh Homme.
Yeah.
Josh Homme. And he was talking to Mixmaster Mike from Beastie Boys, and he was just such a giant, and Mixmaster Mike was such a tiny guy.
Yeah.
And on photos, obviously, and also what they did is like equally cool. So, but then you see that sometimes it's a bit funny.
Yeah.
And once I remember, like one of my favorite current artists is actually Beyonce's sister. I think she's amazing.
Oh, I don't think I've heard her.
No, yeah, she's had a solo career for a long time. Oh fuck, I can't remember her name right now. What's her name?
Hey, Google it.
Google it. It's Solange. And I think she's amazing. I think I saw her at a festival in Denmark last year called Heartland. She's amazing. Solange, check her out. And same thing with her. Like she was on this tour we did in Australia, all over the country. So we went like 8 places with her in the group of people traveling. I didn't know who she was. So and she was the sister of Beyonce and a great artist. So at the time she was just dating the singer of Grizzly Bear. I didn't know who she was. So anyway, so yeah.
That's
famous people, I don't think famous people mind not being recognized.
No. The most famous people I've met is just down to earth, chill people.
But the ones right below are often assholes.
Right?
It's really interesting. Like you have the people who are trying to get somewhere, and nice people, and then the people on top, very nice people, but everything in between.
Because they're not, you know, they don't know what they are yet.
No, exactly.
Right.
It can be terrible. Like, and you can sense that those people are like craving something, feeling above something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the ones on top are always super nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
You do a lot of things, and you've also, correct me if I'm wrong, started a pizza shop?
Yeah. Well, first I started something else.
Oh, what was that?
It was a seafood restaurant. Oh. And within 6 months, we became Norway's second most internationally talked about restaurant in history.
That's crazy.
We got like 2 full pages in New York Times, Michelin recommendation. The world's biggest travel magazine called Condé Nast Traveler had us on the forecast for 2014 as one of the 14 essential travel destinations of next year. And our restaurant was right next to the city, Mexico City.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but after touring, as I said, like really, it was 250 days a year for many years. So, anyways, and then I got kids, and I like it here in Bergen. So I wouldn't mind spending more time here, right? And then so we opened this place, which was like a combination of a restaurant, bar, nightclub, and yeah, it took off. And took over my life, to be honest. It was really because I didn't know what I did when I took this initiative. But after something like a year, I saw that we had 45 employees, and that's when I sort of got stressed out.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, and the economy around the kind of restaurants that we run is that every supplier. Like personally, you know their sister, you know their mother. We've been to their places. We care a lot about everybody, right? So, if you do something less personal, I guess you don't necessarily stress out like we did. But you really feel the responsibility for every single person involved, and obviously everybody working there, and so that was pretty crazy. And then the pressure of it was casual fine dining, but the pressure of fine dining is kind of different to say you find something that works, like for instance a pizza formula kind of. So every day is very, very, very tough. So we decided to add on a little pizza joint.
Yeah.
And we thought that was right up the street from here, actually. Yeah. And we thought that was something from kind of me and you, like a place where we have a beer and a pizza. But then, after a few months, it got 6 out of 6 in the biggest paper in Norway, and they said it was the coolest place for eating in Norway.
Nice.
So that became a success too. So yeah,
everything you touch, man.
Yeah, the Myreze finger. I'm going to touch you.
Hey, please.
I'm touch you. I'm not that way.
No. Just...
I'm gonna. Oh, there you go.
Oh shit, I can feel it.
And the watch now is gold.
Oh,
look at
shit.
That.
Yeah, it is.
It's pure gold.
It's white gold. That's crazy.
No, but I think what we did with the restaurant and the pizza joint is kind of the same formula as with the band, right? Like, this is a city where people really enjoy helping each other and create something cool.
Yeah.
Right? And so many people were involved in both the restaurant and the pizza joint, which is also a restaurant. That we could really build on the way I guess we worked Datarock.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. So I think that's one of the great things about Bergen is just because it's so small, and not too much is happening. So if something fun is going on, people want to help out some way. So yeah, it's that's the trick. And I meet so many people who spend a couple of years in major international cities, and they come back and they say they get to do more here.
Yeah.
Just the logical part is you get to know people here. It's easy to get to know each other, and you get to know people from various sides of whatever, right?
Yeah.
In Bergen, I knew one of the best chefs, so we could start some restaurants, right? But if I say I lived in Los Angeles, who knows? Perhaps I didn't know any chefs, So anyway,
Bergen gets around. Bergen is really like I know guy.
Yeah.
It's that kind of place.
Yeah, and also it's a city where I think people are craving the next.
Yeah.
And nobody goes around and like super satisfied about what was last year.
Yeah.
People want to do something new, and yeah.
You think you have any more like remaining goals? Something that you feel like you want to do, or are you like satisfied with?
I have this new thing that it's a bug. I can't get it out of my head, and it's this sounds absurd. It sounds completely absurd, but the city in the world where I felt a close resemblance to Bergen the most, is Los Angeles. I know it sounds absurd.
What?
I know. But the thing is, if you do music and I guess all sorts of different things, you kind of end up in a part of Los Angeles, right? And we were always in the same streets and joints and hanging out with the same people in West Hollywood. And West Hollywood is just a little part of Los Angeles, right? So we get to know so many people so quickly, and people are very collaborative. People are super nice, and people want to get to know you, and they want to share their network and all of that. And I have this little thing that I really want to take some of our aesthetics and our tastes and our vibe. One day, I wish we could do something in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Create a place. And so I'm talking to someone who's really interested in the same. So that's my new goal. I want to do something
that's pretty
abroad.
Cool. It's like what is it, West
Hollywood?
West Hollywood. So that's like if, let's say, LA is Norway, then West Hollywood is Bergen.
Yeah. So and it's not like I spent so much time there, and it's not the cliches that you see on TV. Like, no, because like in Bergen, like people move from all across, especially the US, to Los Angeles because they want to be involved in creativity, right? And so a lot of people are moved there, and they're really keen on getting to know new people. And I'll give you an example. Like the first person we got to know was Steve Aoki. Right, and so we're hanging out at his place, and we get to know all his friends. We DJ with him, blah blah blah. Very similar to if someone came to Bergen, they would perhaps bump into Mikael Telle or someone like that, and he would actually introduce you to his friends, right? And that's kind of unusual to be that open and that welcoming and that collaborative. And well, I don't know. It's probably not special, but I've been to, I don't know, 1,000 cities, and that's the city that I really like.
Really
felt a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of. I don't know. But I don't know why. It's hard to tell. But one of the things in Bergen, and that's with Datarock and with you guys, we work internationally. So your neighbor isn't your competitor.
No.
Your neighbor is someone you can help and who wants to help you, and together you get to become better because you're not competing necessarily for the same audience, right? So the guys we meet in Los Angeles, they're not like, oh, I don't want to let him get my network because then he can take my customers. That's not how it is, because their network actually works globally, right? So you see, for instance, a lot of Norwegian musicians and producers and facilitators, they move to Los Angeles because that's the place where you can actually get stuff done. I know it sounds so absurd, but it's like, it's true. It's I know it's absurd, but it's true. So and also I really like it there. So it would be fun to take a little piece of Bergen and put it there.
Spread it to the world.
Yeah, and there, for instance, a guy called Stefan Jansson from Bergen. He opened restaurants in Tokyo, and that works.
Yeah.
Danish people started restaurants in New York City. It works. So it would be fun to do something. Take a little bit of our vibe and just put it in California.
I can't wait to see what you're going to do.
Are you going to come?
Of course I'm going to come.
Nice.
I was going to try your pizza. I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna.
You haven't?
I haven't!
You haven't?
I haven't! Oh, there we are.
What's wrong with you people? It's the best pizza!
So we should definitely go and eat there. Yeah, it's I love pizza. It's the best food ever. So I have no idea why I haven't gone. So I'm gonna go first thing.
Hoggorm pizza is for you. By the way, the logo is made by a guy in San Francisco, so it's a little bit of California in there.
Little bit of California. Thank you so much for.
Was that all the 7 questions? I really don't know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Is. I just implemented to our conversation.
Oh wow! Very well done.
Wizard.
Well done.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
No!
Joking. Corona season.
We can't do that. We're just gonna make out afterwards, but you can't see it.
You can't see it.
That's gonna be edited out, or is it not? No, it's not.
What?
Why should you?
I don't know.
No.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching 7 Questions Between 7 Mountains, and make sure you check out the next episode and watch this on every platform there is. Take care. Bye then. Let's go have a gin.
Yes, let's do it.
Later.